Could you give us the Geoff Banks 5 tips of someone going into entrepreneurship? Welcome to Beyond the Data podcast. Get ready for raw, real conversations that give deeper insights into drug development, one story at a time.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of lessons learned that I took from this book, and I tried to tailor it from talking about experiences I have versus trying to tell people what they should do. So if I was walking in someone's shoes and I was about to start another business, I would think of 5 things. I think at the top of my head would be, one is that you're not alone in what you're about to do, in terms of this is something that a lot of people have done and have experienced, and the things that you're going to experience and the emotions and the roller coaster that you're going to experience is very common in entrepreneurism. And so be prepared for it, but also know that it's not something that you should feel bad about if you feel that it's not going as well as you hoped, because it's very common for entrepreneurs to start a business and then, not sure what just happened, or, you're sort of kind of jumping in and then realize that it was a mistake, but you can pivot, you can do different things differently. And so I think the number one thing is you're not alone. A lot of people have done this, and you're going to go through an experience that is going to be challenging, but you'll get through it. I think one other aspect of a tip that I could recommend is that you have to think about, when you start a business and you grow, that you have to reinvent yourself to some degree at each level of growth. Mm-hmm. And it's a challenge. It's part of sort of the mindset, the growth mindset illusion, is that you have to be a different CEO or founder, or, at 10 people versus when you're 50 people or 100 people. And that it's not just as easy as growing. You're going to have challenges that you experience. I think the third thing is that business entrepreneurs are in a relationship with their business. You have to think about it from that perspective, that it's going to pull you in directions that you may not be ready for. And the relationship could be toxic. You have to be ready to balance that out to have a more fulfilling life versus being pulled into constant sort of business challenges. I think the fourth tip that I have is that when you have an idea for a business and you start talking to people, almost universally, it's the response you get is pessimism from people. Like, they don't think it's going to work. They're like, you can't do this. Be careful. You're risking everything. I think to the point where if someone tells me it's a good idea, I don't believe them, because it's like, and so I take that with sort of an unapologetic license to explore. I talk to people about ideas, but I also realize that they don't have the vision that I do in terms of what the idea could be. And I'm not basically able to explain it very well at its earliest stages. Right. So I think, ideation takes a while. It's not like you can come up with an idea and just go and do it. I've had a business idea that I've been working on for 7 years. And it's like, I just come back to it periodically, and eventually I could start, and form a business around it. I think the fifth thing is, for me, one of the best decisions I ever made was to join a group called EO, or Entrepreneurs Organization. It's a global organization of founders and CEOs, and I could not have grown and exited my business without being in EO. I'm a scientist by training, had no business experience, but I started 2 businesses, and the ability to have a forum of other like-minded entrepreneurs who are going through the exact same issues that you're going through, but have experiences that might help you to understand a little bit more about where you're headed, I think was incredibly valuable. And I could not have done what I did as an entrepreneur without EO.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Data, powered by Synaptogen. Please like, share, and subscribe to catch more stories that bring data to life.